Visionaries, welcome back for part 2 of Sacred Lineage. If you've seen the first episode and are walking through and doing work related to that, that is awesome. And I wish you peace on your journey through that. Um, if you're back here because of that and watching episode 2, it means that you're in the right place. You're remembering, you're reclaiming your gifts and awakening them so that they won't be silenced ever again. Today, we're going to talk about what happens when your brilliance is hidden, even from you. Like the road of discovery isn't linear sometimes. We kind of have fits and spurts to how things come to be and how we come to recognize those things. So I just want to kind of walk through the impact of that and the excitement of that. These things may have been batted down in you, buried in you for whatever reason, and now they're coming to an awakening. And some people are not going to understand what journey that you're going through, but that's what you're supposed to be doing now. And so again, you're the main character in your story, so they're going to have to play the back seat right now while you focus on elevating to your higher self and your higher purpose. Some of us were born into families where silence was survival. In actuality, me generally, if you knew me or know me in person, I'm very quiet and observant, and some of the things that made me stand out when I was younger are things that I dampened down and put inside because it wasn't welcomed when I was a kid. Like other kids wouldn't like the fact that I was outspoken or picked, like teachers picked to do certain things because of the talents and brightness and energy that I had at the time. So now growing up, interacting with other people, my peers, and that being how I was received, I kind of learned to kind of damper that down. But at the time, I wasn't aware of what I was supposed to be sharing with the world. So I was like, okay, if they're not receptive to it, just bat it down. That translated into, in work environments, me still being that A player, having high energy, just things coming naturally to me, and easy work being easy work. And so in those environments, again, being around other people that things didn't necessarily come easy to them, or they were getting by in situations because they were more social, more extroverted, and things of that nature, I didn't fit in to those environments. I was always the outlier, like doing things faster, smarter, more efficient, don't need a lot of meetings, don't fit in, because I'm not here to sit and chatter all day long. I'm like actually here to do work at work type thing. It wasn't about being antisocial and not connecting with people, fine, but when that was your only focus, because that is the only way that you can garner attention for yourself, not from skills, aptitude, ability to do your job. You were just there the longest and you're a nice person, and that's why you get promoted even though you can't necessarily do your job the way you're supposed to do, or lead for that matter. I didn't fit into that environment, but I thrived and did very well in what I was doing because I just excelled at what I did. It couldn't be ignored. However, it wasn't well received with others that were kind of intimidated by that light, that energy, that gift that I had. So we learned to kind of bat that down, be quiet about it. Oh, it makes me look different, feel different, act different than other people. I don't want to stand out, I want to fit in type of thing. But it also lessens the power, light, ability, dynamic component that makes us individuals. So where that shows as a kid, like, you have a spark within you and you have that, but why, this isn't enough, this is limiting, this isn't letting me grow to my fullest potential, and it's considered annoying. Like, stop asking so many questions. What are you talking about? This is just the way things are. Well, now we are not comfortable with this is just how the things are, this is just how you're told to do it type thing. And so we're the disruptors to a certain extent. So, but I want you to realize in that something powerful, which is the silence wasn't emptiness. It was potential waiting to be awakened. It was your lineage protecting something sacred. If it wasn't going to be well received in that environment, then that wasn't the time for it to be released. It wasn't that your gifts didn't exist. They just didn't have the safety to bloom at that time. But you, in general, you were meant to break the cycle, not out of rebellion, but out of remembrance for who you are. So like I was saying in the last video, that discomfort that you're feeling, that's exactly where you're supposed to be, so that you can move beyond that and have more, be more, do more, realize the power of what you have. Many of the people that came before us in our families weren't necessarily allowed to express or even fully dream about what they wanted to have, or a remembrance of what they should be doing in life, because life was calling and you have to raise your children and have these obligations and stay in this box and do things that's safe, because of the conventions of the days and times that we lived in or are living in. So whether through systematic reasons or religious reasons or gender expectations or family drama or whatever the construct is, we kind of dampen our gifts and our personalities and how we show up in the world to fit in. And sometimes it's something that you do for survival purposes. So generally that voice inside that says, maybe I'm meant for more. Maybe I was born for something bigger. That's not delusion. That's the inheritance that you have whispering to you that you're supposed to be doing something else. And maybe the reason that life feels off or stagnant is because you've been surprisingly suppressing the genius inside you that wants to rise. Like, you may not have that focus or understanding or remembering of what you're actually supposed to be doing here and bringing to the world. And so now it's trying to crop up, bubble up. That's why I feel so much energy and passion. And sometimes I was challenged to really say, is this what I want to do? Is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Meaning stepping into my higher calling. Because I'm like, no, you were taught to be smart, learn, go to school, get good grades, go to college, get out of college, get a job. You got your job in the industry that you're in, stay doing that for the rest of your life, and then retire. And then when what I went to school for and what I'm doing now in terms of sharing with others on this platform have nothing to do with one another, but this is where I feel most fulfilled. And now I know, in really tapping into my lineage, that I'm supposed to be a teacher, a mentor, just making sure to share enlightenment with others so that they can shine. That's why I'm here, not to work in marketing and business development necessarily and help corporations get more clients in business and stuff like that. I'm really good at doing that, but that's not what ignites my soul power, my soul presence, my soul path. It's something that I do within the life that I have here, but also within the life that I have here, there's other things that define my purpose, and my general profession was not that. The most powerful truth of all of this is that the seeds that you plant throughout your life don't die, they just get buried, but now you have to either dig them up, replant them, or water them so they can blossom into what they're supposed to be. So when you feel like you're not on the right path, when you feel like you're not in environments that you should be in, or you're not being fulfilled in what you're doing, that's your inner knowing that something else is supposed to happen. Those seeds take root and germinate, and you really want to focus on the ones that you are supposed to grow, not the ones that were set on your path that you've been going on all this time. If that path doesn't feel like it's the right one to be on, it's probably not. You got to learn to trust your voice, because that voice that you have inside of you sometimes isn't just you. It's people that came before you telling you, whispering to you, yeah, you know it's not what ultimately you should be here to do and carry forward, so let's do something else. So trust yourself. Know when you're talking in truth and not fear. Know when you're talking in conviction and not bullcrapping yourself. So your obstacles, your challenges, your pain, your family history, your ancestry, they weren't random. They were a culmination, an amalgamation of things that were moving you to the path that you should be on, ultimately, to attain higher knowledge, step into your higher self, be on your life path, help those that you're supposed to help, claim your power, harness your power, not be victim to circumstance. As you move into this time of discovery and become the you're supposed to be, you're helping those seeds bloom, and you're stepping into a rich truth that you needed to be in order to do the things that you're supposed to do, that's greater than what you've been doing already. That's why you might feel deflated, not energized, not optimistic day by day, because you at your core, within your soul, know that this is not what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to step out away from disappointment, away from suffering, away from fear, away from all of these things that's keeping you from doing your greatest good. The cliche that we're our own worst critics, we're our own worst enemy, there's truth to that. Our thoughts are things. When we suppress who we truly are, what we're supposed to be doing, how we're supposed to be make a positive impact in other people's lives, that is a lie that we're carrying on if we're not going down that path or doing things that align with that path. And so from that, you're unfulfilled, and that's where the misery is coming from. You don't deserve to be miserable. So change that reality for yourself. So in the book, there are exercises that I mentioned before, but one prompt for you, maybe you do a prayer or you meditate or journal, whatever practice that you enjoy that brings you peace and reflection. Do that. So if it's journaling, praying, meditating, whatever it is, here's a couple of things that you could think about when you're doing that for on your path of self-discovery. One is, who in your family line do you feel was misunderstood? We see this all the time. Some people in our families are considered the black sheep, or they're just out there. They're just doing their own thing, and that's not what we do, type of thing. Who was misunderstood, overlooked, silenced? So in some cases, people get excommunicated from their family, stuff like that. Hopefully that, didn't happen in your family unit, but stuff like that. Who was that person? And then what gifts and traits did they bring that wasn't necessarily receptive to others in that environment, and from that had never been fully expressed? So once you define that, then think about, do you carry some of those similar traits, some of those things that spark inside of you that was similar to what that person did? If so, are you suppressing those things? Maybe they were passionate about following a dream, a talent, or something, instead of going the conventional way. Or they had a different way of expressing themselves. Or they were just kind of a free spirit, or didn't follow tradition, didn't follow convention, challenged things, whatever it was. Do you see some of that in you? And how can you harness that in a positive way to inspire others? Sometimes healing is about telling the stories that were never told. Maybe you're supposed to bring light to what challenges that person had, to be able to help others that might have the same things going on in their life. It's just a time of reflection to really encompass all of the different gifts and talents that you have to help others forward, and really understand yourself. You have to be planted and grounded in yourself before you can help anyone else. It's just really a knowing and peace in knowing those things. So visionaries, if you don't understand why I'm saying visionaries, the visionaries are the individuals on this planet, so on this planet Venus Ascension, that are coming here to understand themselves and utilize their gifts and talents to create the life that they want and help others do the same. So if you are a visionary, please do share this information with others. You're not here by accident. This video is meant to find you, like all these, engaging titles we see as we're scrolling through, and then we stop at the one. You stopped at this one because it's the time in your life where you need to move forward with focus, clarity, confidence, and understand all that you bring, all that you have to offer, all that has been given to you, so that you can pour into yourself and others. You are the continuation of those who came before. Not only that, the expansion of those who came before. Like, you're taking those gifts and you're elevating them to a whole new level. They dream of freedom, you're the one who gets to live it. They dreamed of sharing their talents, you're the one that gets to embody and exemplify that. So don't let that rest within inside you that is supposed to come out and be expressed and make a positive impact in your life and others. So In the next episode, episode 3, stay tuned, guys, because that's going to be released next week. Episode 3. This is going to go into decoding the sacred assignments in our life and how everyday experiences are often divine breadcrumbs. So the stuff that we go through that we're like, what the heck is going on? And I don't want to deal with any of this stuff, is to either transform you, inspire you, make you think something along that line so that you could use that to move forward and command a different outcome, not fall into it and fester in it and be defeated by it and all that stuff. These are divine breadcrumbs so that you can see that it's divine trials that you're going through to get to where you need to be. Stay tuned for that. In the meantime, obviously there's the Sacred Lineage Awakening the Genius from Within book that I have written as a companion piece to this. If you want to download that, you can do that through the link below. I'm going to continue to give you things to think through that will help you work through certain challenges, obstacles, blocks to your way of thinking that's keeping you in a place where you're not necessarily knowing yet, but you'll get there. So until next time, keep writing, thinking, praying, meditating your truth. Keep creating your peace. You need that peace of mind, because then you can go within yourself and realize things that you couldn't with all the noise going around you, all the negative thoughts going in and out of your mind, all of these things in reality that's distracting you from where you should be, in the mindset that you should sit in and be comfortable in. And just keep uncovering the genius that wasn't ever really lost. You just let it be inside of you, but let it free. So it is there, just waiting for you to remember it. So this is a time again of cleansing and remembrance and understanding your greatest gifts that are there inside of you. They've been there the whole time. Embrace them and let them free. So until next time, peace and blessings, family.